Good morning. Good morning. It's your girl, Messenger with a Smile. We switching it around today. We're going to read Deuteronomy chapter 4, and then we're going to download this one and post it to YouTube. So y'all can just get the script right from my page today. And if you want to, you can go to my channel, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Subscribe, share. We're reading Deuteronomy chapter 4. I don't know if I have it, if anybody got comments up, but I'm still trying to figure this stuff out, but we'll see. Now listen and give heed, O Israel. This is Moses still talking. To the statutes and ordinance that which I teach you, and do them, that you may live and go in and possess the land which the Lord your God, the God of your fathers, give you. We also translate that to Adonai, the Elohim, your God of your fathers, gives you. Verse 2, you shall not add to the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish it, that you may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you. Your eyes still see what the Lord did at Baal Peor. For all the men who followed Baal of Peor, the Lord your God has destroyed from among you. You can find that in Numbers chapter 25, verses 1 through 9. But you who clung fast to the Lord your God are alive, every one of you, this day. Behold, I have taught you the statutes and ordinances as the Lord my God commanded me, that you should do them in the land which you are entering to possess. So keep them and do them, for that is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the people who, when they hear all the statutes, will say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So what's going to give them wisdom and understanding? The commandments. Verse 7. For what great nation is there? What other nation is out there who has a God, and this is a little g, so near to them, as the Lord your God, big G, is to us in all things for which we call on him? What other nation? And then verse 8. And what large and important nation has statutes and ordinances so upright and just as all the law, which I set before you today? So these are characteristics of the law. Verse 9, only take heed and guard your life diligently, lest you forget the things which your eyes have seen, and lest they depart from your mind and heart all the days of your life. Teach them to your children and to your children's children, especially how on the day that you stood before the Lord your God in Horeb, and the Lord said to me, gather the people together to me, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn reverently to fear me, or reverence him, all the days, and live upon the earth, that they may teach their children. Verse 11, and you came near and stood at the foot of the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire to the heart of heaven, with darkness, cloud, and thick gloom. And the Lord spoke to you out of the midst of the fire. You heard his voice. You heard the voice of the words, but saw no form. There was only a voice. And he declared to you his covenant, and he commanded you to perform the 10 commandments, and he wrote them on 2 tables of stone. So his covenant and his commandment are synonymous. They're one and the same. And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you the statutes and precepts, that you might do them in the land which you are going over to possess. Therefore, take good heed to yourselves, since you saw no form of him on the day the Lord spoke to you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire. Beware, lest you become corrupt and make yourselves to worship a graven image, or a form let's read it just how it is. A graven image in the form of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, or any winged fowl that flies in the air, the likeness of anything that creeps on the ground, or of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. And beware, lest you lift up your eyes to the heavens, and when you see the sun and the moon and the stars and even the host of all the heavens, you be drawn away and worship them and serve them things which the Lord your God has allotted to all the nations under the whole earth. But the Lord has taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, out of Egypt, to be to him a people of his own possession, as you are this day. So don't make graven images of the moon. Don't make graven images of the sun, of the stars. Everybody has those. Don't do that. Verse 21, furthermore, the Lord was angry with me because of you, and he swore that I should not go over the Jordan, and that I should not enter the good land which the Lord your God gives you for an inheritance. But I must die in this land. I must not cross over the Jordan, but you shall go over and possess that good land. Take heed to yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of the Lord your God, which he made with you, and make for yourselves a graven image. So he's warning them again. Don't make a graven image in the form of anything which the Lord your God has forbidden you. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. When the children shall be born to you, and children's children, and have grown old in the land, if you corrupt yourselves by making a graven image in the form of anything, and do evil in the sight of the Lord your God, provoking him to anger, I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that you shall soon utterly perish from the land which you are going over the Jordan to possess. You will not live long upon it, but will be utterly destroyed. And the Lord will scatter you among the peoples, and you will be left few in number among the nations to which the Lord will drive you. There you will serve gods, little g's, and work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear nor smell. But if from there you will seek, inquire for and require as necessity the Lord your God, you will seek him, you will find him, if you truly seek him with all your heart and mind and soul and life. When you are in tribulation and all these things come upon you, in the latter days you will turn to the Lord your God and be obedient to his voice. For the Lord your God is a merciful God. That's a characteristic of him. He is merciful. He will not fail you or destroy you or forget the covenant of your fathers, which he swore to them. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before you, since the day that God created man upon the earth, and ask from one end of the heaven to the other, whether such a great thing has ever occurred or been heard of anywhere. Did ever people hear the voice of God speaking out of the midst of a fire, as you heard and live? Or has God ever tried to go and take for himself a nation from amidst of another nation? By trials, by signs, by wonders, by war, by a mighty hand, by an outstretched arm, by great terrors, as the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes? Has this ever happened before? Is the question. Verse 35. To you it is shown that you might realize and have personal knowledge that the Lord is God. This is a realization and a personal knowledge that the Lord is God. There is no other beside him. Out of heaven he made you hear his voice, that he might correct, discipline, and admonish you. And on earth he made you see his great fire, and you heard his words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he chose your descendants after him. He chose their descendants after them, and brought you out of Egypt with his own presence by his mighty power, driving out nations from before you, gathered greater and mightier than yourselves, to bring you in to give you their land for an inheritance, as it is this day. Know, recognize, and understand, therefore, that this day, and turn your mind, all your heart to it, that the Lord is God in heaven, in the heavens above, and upon the earth beneath. There is no other. Therefore you should keep his statutes and his commandments, which I command you this day, that it may go well with you and your children after you, and that you may prolong your days in the land which the Lord your God gives you forever. Then Moses set apart 3 cities of refuge beyond the Jordan to the east, that the manslayer might flee there, who slew his neighbor unintentionally and had not previously been at enmity with him, that fleeing to one of his cities. I'm not a pastor. No, I'm not a pastor. I was wondering if you was going to say something. You always got something to say. But we're going to stop at verse 40 because this is talking about something different from 41 to 49. But you already know, you know me for quite some time. I do love the scripts. I've gone through some things in my life, and you've been there. Happy to see you got some twins. Hope everybody is good. You about to be married. So now that you're here, I get a chance to say I love you, and I hope everything is going good for you. But that's Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 1 through 40. I love y'all. I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel. It's called The Early Dew. Make sure y'all check it out.